Okay, quick recap. You had managed to retrieve Bracy out of the river. He'd stumbled upon some kind of finely crafted scimitar, which is the lunar scimitar, so it's a falcata, and he'd rejoined you at the bridge where Andy had managed to, between a combination of burning things off with a fire blade and hammering big lumps of bronze nail into the cracks, you'd managed to get across the bridge. You've seen a cavern across the other side, and it has a flickering fire which you can just make out. As you all crept up along the corridor, you're close to the headwaters of the river here, so it's so loud you basically can't speak to each other. You'd have to shout, and presumably that's why you haven't been spotted.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to cast Protection 4.
Very well.
Because shit is going to get real.
Mm.
Do we need to do an in-combat roll, or can I just...
No, you don't have to do it unless you're in combat. Protection 4. Let's add that. Is anybody else buffing anything up?
Yeah, probably. Just give us a second to find it.
Shall I try and have a sneaky look around the corner first, lads? Or are we just going to buff up and charge around?
Buffed up and then we'll step on.
Yeah. So who else is casting what?
I'll put Protection 2 up.
I'm taking mine out of me.
I'm trying to find where it is.
Spirit magic will be under Dave.
Protection 2, Blade Chop 2, Mobility 1.
I'll take it out me crystal.
Yeah.
I think I might, before we step round the corner, you know, when we do the 1, 2, 3 go, I'm going to put a flame arrow ready to, really.
Yeah.
I can't even find spirit magic.
Under character sheet main.
Thanks. I was looking under skills or something.
All right, old man.
Yes, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but it's not.
Yeah, Protection 4.
Yeah, Prop 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Blade Chop 4.
Wow, look at all the buffage that's going on.
We'll run around the corner, there'll be no one there, be all wasted. Be shit.
Then we'll just run around till we'll find someone and stab them a lot.
And then stab them until they die from it. Right, so you have a quick buff. Like I said, you to communicate, you're actually pulling each other close and almost shouting into each other's ear. Otherwise, presumably, the pounding of Andy's hammer would have alerted anything that's in the next cavern.
Okay, once we're all ready, Bracy frag off. Oh no, sorry, wrong game.
Right. Okay, well, if you would like to roll some initiatives, then might as well do it now. And is Bracy moving to the front and throwing himself around the...
No, we'll better get a working order going.
I'll have a very careful peek, very stealthily.
How do I roll initiative?
Click on your little man, and then click on the initiative bar.
I don't know if we have Dave's initiative set up yet.
I don't know.
Do.
I don't do that sort of thing.
I will roll it for you, Dave.
I could do coding and complicated macros, but we all know what would.
Wow, Dave, you got a really bad initiative. Maybe I shouldn't roll it for you, but such is life. Has everybody rolled now?
No, I still need to.
Chris needs to roll. Just to see how quickly everybody's going to go here.
I mean, the corridor's quite tight, so what I would suggest is we'll put the tanky types down first, and then me, McLovin, take up the rear, and then Krish, NPCs his way behind.
Yeah, you're literally shuffling past. Right, Bracy, you were asking about that coppice. it's extremely well worked. It has something engraved in the blade in a language that I don't believe anybody understands.
I speak New Pelorian, I believe. I don't know if I read it.
Well, you can recognise that it's New Pelorian, but you can't read it.
I'm going to check to see if I can, because I've got 20% speak New Pelorian.
You can't even read and write your own language. You can't even read and write your own language. Never mind New Pelorian, but you do recognise it as New Pelorian. There's a red gem in the hilt, and basically there's some kind of spell matrix into it, Bracey. If you put the maximum you can basically get for a spell is 4 points. So if you put 4 points into it, that would probably trigger whatever effect the spell matrix has, but you're not sure. If you want to try that.
It's heavily unwise, which is why he's probably going to do it.
I look at Earl and just smile.
And who's that clicking? Clickety click. Well, Bracey, are you going to do it now or are you going to wait?
I was going to try and have a stealthy look around the corner first.
Right.
Very carefully. Just so see if I can get an idea if we're going up against a barricade or what. I'm not going to stick my head in. I'm going to very slowly look from left to right sort of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. So I see
one of those puzzles, you shuffle past everybody's shuffling about on the bridge and on the bit of the ledge, and you shuffle you manage to shuffle past each other, and you get to the front. So go on then, make a stealth roll.
Hang on. Would it be hide or move quietly?
It will be. You can actually do one and then the other. If you're trying to hide and move quietly, I would make a hide first, presumably.
Well, I'll move quietly.
You've moved quietly.
Yep.
Right, so you cautiously put your head round the corner there, into a room. There are 4 standing stones, and there's a campfire in the middle. Around the campfire, there are some rolled up beds. I believe you can possibly see them on the map.
Yep.
And in amongst the room, who's that crackling?
Somebody.
There's a really weird crackling, like a packet of crisps.
Can't eat crisps in a raid, Kevin.
You can't eat crisps in a raid, Kevin. So let's see if you've been spotted, shall we?
Oops.
Right, what was your roll?
I failed by 8%.
It's Andy. I don't know what Andy's doing. Andy, you're clicking.
Crisps in a raid.
Do you think he's eating crisps?
I'm eating crisps. Hang on a minute.
He's eating something. Did you bring enough for everybody? He's eating something crispy.
From the Chinese, crispy duck.
Right, Bracey, also you see 4 broo lolling about. They appear to be eating something that they've cooked on the campfire. They have not set a guard or apparently noticed anybody in the bridge, and that is due to rolls on the stupid scenario, not by me. Right. The furthest one away from you has a double jointed left leg and carries a spear. The
How
second
can we tell it's got a double jointed leg from here? Is he sitting funny?
It's like a weird sort of insect leg. It's got like 2 knee joints.
Oh, God.
That one there, Bracey, one the second furthest away has red, green and blue stripes on his head and carries a short sword and a medium shield. This one, the closest one to you, it's apparently missing 1 toe. I don't know how you would note that, but just in case you decide to check all of their toes, quick count their toes to make sure how many they've got. It's apparently missing a toe. That's his chaotic feature. That's RuneQuest Faith. And the one standing towards the middle, the big one, is a female, and she, this one here, appears to be glitching. So like her outline is blurry, and then she sort of like jumps backwards and forwards a few millimeters. So you can't actually make out our exact location. And she is carrying a rapier and a short sword. Well, they're kind of wearing them, or they've got them next to them. They're not actually standing there waiting to be thing, but they look completely surprised. However, let me have a look at this guy. Your stealth roll was a
64. Failed by 8%.
Failed by 8%. Right. In that case, the closest broo to you, the one who's missing a toe, just turning around, and he seems to have just caught sight of you.
Wait a minute, so we've got one called knee toe and one called two knee.
Yes, knee toe and 2 knee. Convenient, no?
Come in. I toed the line.
Maybe he paid a visit to Mad Max Universe and he ran into the talk.
Could have.
Right, so the closest brute to you turns round, not looking for you. He turns around to pick something up, and he spots you in the shadows at the entrance to the cave. His eyes go wide, but he hasn't done anything yet. And so what do you want to do quick before we leap into combat? You've got maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds to do something.
Just brace you out, everyone.
Can I?
You've got 3 seconds. What are you going to do? What's your plan?
Is disruption just cause injury or does it like stun?
No, it just causes injury.
Okay. Right. In that case, I am going to use mobility, run out and go straight behind the rock that's just ahead of us. And hopefully when the others are watching, they'll know it's gone pear-shaped. So I'm going to go...
Right, so you've
like
got...
behind that...
You've got crazy-ass move because you've got mobility on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Dave, and next up behind Dave is Kane and Wallen. You see Bracey, because like I said, it's very noisy, sort of start and then he runs into the room.
Well, that's the sign of getting there quick.
Like the $6 million man, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, he takes off and he runs into the room.
So how
I'll
fast?
still have mine running as well, won't I? Because I used
So
to.
what's our movement rate again? Like 8, isn't it? Something like that.
Yes, you've got 8 squares. You can move 4 squares and still act. So you can move 4 squares and attack or cast a spell. If you move more than that, then you concentrate on movement, but you can defend with a dodge or a parry.
Right, I'll just do the move 4 and get ready to.
Well, technically, Crodan should go first, but because you're all kind of shuffling about in the corridor, you will have to go in order because you basically can't squeeze past each other when you're preparing for combat. So next up, you've got Kane.
Right, I'm gonna go around the corner, I guess. 4 squares for.
Right, once you get around the corner, you should be able to see the standing stones, the 4 broo, the bedrolls, and the campfire. All right, and then Ruwalan, you can only move.
Moving a bit deeper, Ryan.
3.
Yeah.
You can only move 3 and still attack because you're only a wee fella.
Well, if I move up there, then everybody else can get round me.
I've got mobility, so I can rush past.
Yeah.
So if I do that, and I'll let all the big blokes past us, and then I shall come run up behind them, so to speak. No, that doesn't sound any better.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I want to finish my move and move up to broo 6, actually.
Right, so you come rushing into the room and you charge at broo 6, which is Neato. Right, Croydon, you run into the room.
I've got mobility, so how far can I move?
Double, so you can move
8.
8 and still attack, or 16.
Well, I've got a flame arrow out, so
You have got a flame arrow out.
I'm going to put it into who's the big female one, the one at the.
This one, the one at the back of the room.
Put it in her as soon as it's my turn. I'll just knock your power down.
Okay, doke. And finally, Krish follows you into the room.
And there's Ruwalan then going to just catch up.
Yes, Ruwalan can catch up. He moves 3 this turn, so Ruwalan, he's moved 1 to let you pass, so Ruwalan is at the edge of the thing. Right, now we're going to go into initiative order. The broo was surprised, but since only a few seconds had passed, they were slightly warned by the fact that McLovin ran into the room. It's still very loud here, the sounds of crashing water, and the ground is quite sandy. So first up is not Earl for once.
It's disgusting.
Unacceptable.
It is completely unacceptable. Right, so she doesn't have her swords out, but she raises a hand. I need to start opening character sheets, so you'll have to bear with me here. Right, so she raises a hand and she goes for Kian. Once again, she's, like I said, she's shimmering and shaking, so you're having difficulty making her form out, but you see a large eruption of like pustules and buboes again come over her skin, similar to what the other one did, but these are a different colour. These are kind of like sickly red with like purple tinges on them, and she fires them at Kian. What's your power, Kian?
14. I want to say 15, actually.
15. And that succeeds. You feel some kind of powerful magic slam into you, but you're not certain what it is. Can you please make me a con times 5 roll?
I can't actually make. I suppose I could.
You can't make a con times 5 roll?
No, I mean, I've got 20 con, so.
I need the FK for like 30 seconds, Rich. Keep going.
No bother. Right. So, you succeed at it. You automatically fail on a 96 to 100 anyway.
Oh, do you still do that with non-skill rolls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything fails in a 96 to 100. I double checked. Right. So you feel some kind of powerful magic wash over you. And it's not good. It's dark magic. It makes your skin crawl. But it doesn't seem to have any immediate effect.
Okay.
Next up we have Crodan, believe it or not. Who will be shooting his fire arrow. But temporarily, Rualan, you're up next.
Right, can I try and cast... Hang on, mine's gone blank. I'm not having a good day. Fireblade.
Yes.
Right, remind me, please. I'm struggling today.
You could have cast that while you were buffing outside, because everybody was buffing like various spells. So you could already have that up if you want.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, right. Well, there's not really much I can do from there, is there? I haven't got a missile weapon as such.
You've got a sling, but if you let go of the fireblade, it'll go out.
Yeah, I know. I'll just.
So you can move 3 into the room.
All right. Hang on. In that case, I'm gonna say I'll just.
Instead of DuckTales, do a duck charge.
He runs in the room.
Right, hang on. I've got another one. Put yourself there.
Right. This furious duck waving around a flaming short sword comes tearing into the room. Put the fear of God into friend and foe like. Next up, we have McLovin.
I am going to move down to Broo 4 and engage him.
Sorry, my lungs were floating.
That's okay. That's 2-knee. Right, okay. Earl, you went second. You went after the big female Broo, who's cast some kind of weird dark magic on Kane. You can tell because they did that boobo thing because you can see God magic, you know what I mean? So if you want to take your shot now.
Special in the abdomen, 22 damage.
Oh, nice one.
Jesus. Right, so.
What a shot.
Yes, she is harder to hit because of her chaotic feature. However, that doesn't help. So, 22 abdomen damage. Ooh, that's going to tickle somewhat.
Does that look like she exploded?
No, but your fire arrow goes straight into... Wow, have you seen those rolls? 1 + 6 + 6 + 1 + 2 + 6.
Yeah.
It impaled straight into her. She has got some heavy armour on, but I don't think it's that heavy.
I can't impale her.
And she drops to... right, she takes a grievous shot in the abdomen and falls to the ground. Both of our legs have stopped working.
I'll start drawing my next arrow for the end of the round.
Right. Very, very subtle. Very, very subtle.
Yeah.
So I just need to mark her abdomen as cream crated, which is purple. And as you can probably see, she was incredibly badly hurt by that.
Oh, lordy!
She bellows and I go away and spits blood out onto the floor. Right. Next up we have McLovin. Right, you've moved already to Brew 4.
Yep.
He's carrying a one-handed spear.
I'll take a swing at him with Blade Sharp 2.
Right, so if you go onto your main page and go down to your weapons.
Yeah, I can see Blade Sharp 2.
Yeah, sweet. And this guy is going to... attempts to dodge out of the way, I believe. Maybe? Let's have a look. I believe... No, he's going to try and parry because he's absolutely awful at dodge. Right, so he snatches his spear off the ground. Not in time enough to stab at you, but he takes a wild swing and misses his parry. So you hit. Right, you've rolled on your skill, haven't you?
Yeah.
Not the actual on the... When you've rolling, if you're not using the macros, always roll on the main character sheet.
Okay,
Scroll
my bad.
down, then it's got your damage and everything built in.
Shall I just roll on the Blade Sharp 2 thing just to get the damage?
Yes.
So that was a special. So you'll have to price roll again.
You'll have to roll again, yes. See, if you'd been using that one...
Let him have it. That's twice in a row.
The third time.
Right, six points of damage to the right arm. Bless. Okay. You open a cut in his right arm, but he's not. It's quite a deep cut for the arm, but it's not anywhere near disabling it.
Fair enough.
Right. Next up, we have Brew 6, who's very annoyed at being. You are using your axe, aren't you? You're not using that full.
No, I'm using the axe.
Cutlass, yeah. Okay. So he takes a stab back at you with the spear.
Yeah, that's Brew 4.
Yeah, Brew 6 on me.
Brew 6 is on.
Sorry.
Ken.
Yes. Brew 6.
But I'm gonna keep that roll for the 89 failure.
No. Brew 6 is wielding a two-handed spear and he's quite bad with it. So one day I'll actually hurt you. And he fails. Right, he fumbles about, obviously due to the surprise, and the blow goes wild. You literally stand there. You don't even have to, defend yourself. He's obviously shaken by being surprised. Next up, we have Krish. And alright, he fires his bow again. He's not that terrible at it, but he fires his bow and misses. And finally, Kane, you're up, sir.
I'm just going to slash at the boy in front of us. Say the boy, I mean the brew.
Yes, Brew 6 is a lady.
Brew 6 is a little roll on the floor. Hopefully.
Falling on the left leg. Right, she tries to parry with a spear and fails. And you open a mighty gash in her leg. And that is... Can't do some damage. Is that what your blade sharp damage as well?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It's actually a little... Is that a little low? Yeah, it is.
That was quite a shitty one.
It's like average. Yeah, I mean, it's could have been worse. Got off lightly.
So 11 damage to the leg. Right. A leg gives out under her. And does she remain standing? Let's find out. No. Right. She falls to the ground with one of her legs disabled. It's still hanging on by a lot of things, but she has taken quite the hit, as it were. Right. Next up, we have... Broo 4, who takes a wild stab at McLovin. Broo 4's a male with a one-handed spear. Right, McLovin, he stabs at you and succeeds. Woohoo!
Dodge.
Fail. No, of course not. McLovin easily sidesteps the clumsy blow. Like, without even breaking into a sweat, to be fair. It's like, and then...
Quick question.
Yes?
If we succeed in a skill, like we're saying, and I've got one-handed axe and blade sharp 2 axe, would I take one-handed axe or the blade sharp 2 axe?
Just one-handed axe. The blade sharp 2 is I just put that there as a quick button, so
right.
We're not
trying
to...
Okay,
right.
Thank you.
Broo 4. Now leads with the heat. And successfully butts you on the left arm. You can defend again, but you're minus 20% on your skill.
Yeah, I'll try and dodge again.
So you...
Oh, no. Bam.
Right. Ow. So, overly confident because you so easily dodged his terrible attack. You move and he chins you one right on the head with a Glasgow kiss. And it's 8 damage to the left arm. How much armor have you got?
Just trying to work it out. I've got 2 armor. I've got protection 2 and the normal that enhanced AC. So is that plus 1 or plus 2?
The skin's 2 points, right? You take 2 points to the arm. Knocking you down to 16 hit points. Oh my god!
The pikey bastard!
Oi!
Right, Broo 5 readies his weapons and steps behind this rock so that he can't get shot at by Croden. Moves next to you, Bracy, but he hasn't attacked yet. However, Croden now gets his second shot, but it's not a fire arrow. Who are you firing at?
I'm just going to shoot it to the downed one.
Okay.
Because she needs to finish and do.
Poe Shashelian on his 13 initiative gets to go after that.
10 to the admin.
Right. She can't take any more abdomen damage, but she can. That does transfer to the chest. But she has got quite a heavy arm on the chest, so she takes a savage wound to the chest, but she's still taken. She's looking in an extremely bad way. You got her right in the tittle.
Oh!
Shashelian, finally, after all of this. After all of this brutal combat, you're up. Dave?
Yeah, does diagonal count as one move?
Yes. To be honest, if I could be asked to convert it to hexes, I would, but all of the maps are drawn in squares.
Have you got a sword or range, Davey?
Sword. I've got a bow as well, but
Okay, wait, just checking.
So are you moving to engage Brew 5?
Yep.
Short sword and medium shield.
Broadsword and medium.
Right, so take a swing with your broadsword. Right, so you didn't roll on your skill there, did you? Or did you roll on the main sheet?
The main sheet, I don't know where the skill
I
thing
don't
is.
think he has a skill bar, does he, Rick?
I don't think you've got... Yeah, you haven't got it set up. So that is D8 plus 1 damage, plus your damage bonus if you have one. We'll have to set this up for you.
I get an extra D4.
Right, so D8 plus 1 plus D4. Do you know how to roll it, Dave? Type slash roll, and then space.
Where do I type it?
Or you can click. Right, you see the little bar on the top left-hand corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little polyhedral D20. You can click on that and click a D8, and then click the D4.
Okie dokie.
So that is 5, 6, 7. Did you have any bleach? Or you didn't. You had protection up, didn't you?
Yeah.
7 damage. The Brew 5 is not particularly well armoured. He will attempt to parry with his shield. And he fails. Of course he fails. Right, so you cut him on the left arm, and his left arm hangs uselessly, so he can't parry with his shield anymore. Right. Right. Second round. The lass on the ground goes first. Right, she attempts to cast a spell. And fails. Oh, she fails. Oh. Okay, right, that's probably the curtains for her then.
Don't you mean curtains?
Curtains for her. She's got healing 6 as well, you know. And she just completely failed to use healing 6. Because that's my luck. I don't think I have managed to actually seriously injure anybody yet.
Oh, it'll happen.
Tiger moment.
Okay, sorry about this. Just doing a bit of paperwork. This is the bit that I don't like, where you've got to do paperwork and stuff.
Just use crayons.
Right, Dave, you'll find you have a broadsword now. Right, so next up we have Croden.
Oh, that's me.
You see her push her hands onto her injured boobies. Well, actually onto her injured abdomen. But nothing happens. If you've ever seen a goat head look frustrated, that was it.
I'll shoot her again.
Right, go on. And you get a 20% bonus because she's lying down on the ground.
Oh, that says impaled.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Right arm impale. So do you roll another D8 plus 1?
Yeah,
or
another
do I
D8 plus 1.
9 plus D8 plus 4.
However, that's enough to go through her armour, and due to a low amount of hit points, she expires noisily on the floor.
That's another 7.
Yeah, she only had 3 hit points left, so...
Right, I'll start knocking my next arrow and looking for something that's not in combat.
Needless to say, she est kaput.
Well, she started it. Oh, no, we did.
Rowalan, you're next.
Right.
The powerful, dangerous-looking one has expired messily on the floor, full of arrows.
Jolly good. So I'm going to move down to there and have a bash at that one that's next to Kane.
Yes.
It's like Bracey says, bullets don't kill people, but artillery definitely kills people.
Definitely kills them. Okay, so you take a slash.
There we go.
Right, and that's possibly the worst. Worst
Yeah, I
roll
didn't
you've
like
ever made
to
on that one.
mention it. I think I need to put another couple of clacks in the meter.
You're just toying with him, Andy, aren't you?
Aye, that's it. I'm just singeing all the fur off his arm.
Ronan, he called your mama Swan. See, I'm rah-rahing from the back.
Right, he fails his fumble. You do strike him on the right arm. And it burns through the armour, but it's only a minor slash, which is cauterised by the fireblade. But he does look hurt and quite upset, if I'm honest.
Yeah, really, really hurt. Emotionally red.
McLovin, you're up.
Cool. Twat number 4 again. Oh my god.
Number 4 is one-handed spear boy who's terrible at it. Yeah, he dismally fails his parry. You chop him in the left leg, it goes through armour. Let's just move him down a bit so I can see where his hit points are like. And yeah, that's not good for him. Right, it's another vicious wound, but he's still standing and he hasn't gone down yet. You seem to be giving him a death of 1,000 paper cuts. Bruce 6 is going to attack Kane. He's not looking well. He's going to have a go with his two-handed spear. And he fumbles. Because this is what happens in our GM. Right, he twists ankles. He turns around and twists his goat ankle. He almost falls, but he manages to hobble himself upright, and he makes a pitiful bleating noise. Next up, we have Krish, who's determined to hit something with his bow. And he finally does! Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't get through his armour. So he actually managed to hit him, so... You go, Krish.
Good going, Krish, you've got this.
He's so happy that he's actually hit something.
Is anyone being pressed? Apart from the brew.
The brew are pretty pressed. They're not looking happy about it. And Kieran, you're up.
Okay. I'll take another swing at this brew.
Good one.
Oh,
That's more like it.
He tries to madly parry with his spear.
Oh, something's coming off.
His left arm, apparently.
And he fails. And yes, Kane neatly severs his left arm.
There's got to be a comical chance for his left arm to fly across the room and slap one of the broo in the side of the face.
He dies as Kane chops his arm off at the shoulder.
Carries on through diagonal.
Yeah, carries on through into the chest cavity. There's bones and viscera falls out onto the floor, and it collapses on the ground with a schlub noise.
I'm gonna then use the rest of me, because I can move 4 more squares.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shimmy past the fire there and hedge to like help with Brew 5.
Okay. Right.
Can I hold up a card with 10 written on it?
Craig Revel Hall.
Brew 4 takes a wild stab at Mr. Bracey. Succeeds! I've actually managed to hit with an NPC.
Dodge!
Yeah, I knew that was coming. And you easily sidestep that. And then Brew 5 is going to take a swing at Shashelian. Brew 5 has a meal, a short sword. I'm finding an easy way to do these. So, successfully hit Shashelian in the head.
ow. I shall block with my shield then.
Right, okay. What's your shield chance? What shield do you use? A medium shield or a
Medium shield, 115%.
I don't think you can get that high as a new character. I think it's only 100%. So you've wasted them 15%, unless that's your agility, is it?
No idea.
I'm just going to fill this in quickly for you on your... what I'm saying is 4, and the damage is 1d4, and it's crushing, and it blocks 12, doesn't it? Right, just go for it, Dave.
A rule, just roll
Right,
the
so-
skill.
Yeah, just on the... I've filled it in on your character sheet, so just scroll down till it gets to weapons and then hit the little luck rune next to your medium shield, and then that does all of the rolling at one go. Right, we'll put your character sheet right after tonight, don't worry, we'll put your tokens up and things like that. Right, so you successfully interpose your shield easily, in fact, as the brew's wild swing does it no good whatsoever. And then next up we have Shashelian.
I shall attempt it. I'll try and hit him with my sword.
Right, he tries to... Go ahead, give it a roll. Right, he will attempt to parry that because it looks very scary when people are swinging swords at you, so he will have a go, even though it won't do him any damage.
Fumbled parries are funny. So he fumbles and cuts his own head off with his shield.
I'll have to learn blade shot.
Very useful. Or true sword.
I've got true sword, but I tried casting it the last session.
Yeah.
And he failed. Right, Dave, he does parry with his short sword. Because you're such a weak source blow, I think that's minimum damage, isn't it? Yeah. 1+1+1. Right. It easily turns the blade aside. So even though you're good with the shield, you're not so good with the sword.
While he's got his guard open, can I fire me last shot?
You can as soon as Broo 4 headbutts Bracy.
Oh, that's it.
And then you can fire your shot. Success in the chest.
Dodge again.
Right, he pulls back again, but you're expecting it this time because he's already lashed out with his horns. And even with your 20% penalty, that's still, you successfully dodge to the side as you were expecting him this time. Right, Earl, you're up with your second shot. You're loaded up, ready to rock and roll. Yeah. Which one are you shooting at?
The one that opened his guard up on Cecil.
Right. Broo 5, it was not expecting to be shot with an arrow. He's hit in the right leg, because you always get hit in the leg in RuneQuest.
That's where it happens.
And it there's a spray of blood, and it does some damage. Not an incredibly mortal wound, but it does do some damage. And then spells. Asher's already dead. Poor Asher. And then Cronan, you're up again already.
I'll shoot the same brew. In the right leg.
You're determined to get him in the leg.
Yep, he started it.
Was that just a hit location?
No, 4 damage.
Okay, I'm obviously getting weird lag again. Right, so he takes another minor wound to the right leg, but he's still going.
Hands up.
Quacktavish, you're up, sir.
Right. I'm going to move and attack. 1, 2, right. There, I wrote 3. There. And I shall have a go at row number 5 with...
Choppy. Ooh, headshot. Right, you run up, unexpectedly, take a wild swing at his head. Broo number 5 is going to have a go at the dodge. And he succeeds.
What?
He actually succeeds at dodging. He catches you out of the corner of his eye. Him having wide set goat eyes, and just manages to pull his head out of the way. You hit him on the top of the horn and you chop a bit of his horn off, but it's not enough to actually do any damage. That son of a bitch. McLovin, you're
boy.
up.
Not having that.
What's fighting?
Yeah, Broo 4, who's heavily...
Oh, get in!
Slash to the left arm. That is not good at all, is it? And
not for him.
So the Broo attempts to parry again with his spear, even though it seems a bit of a bad joke, to be fair. And he fails again. You slash him in the left arm. He has to make a con ×5 roll as blood spurts, which he succeeds at, so he doesn't pass out or anything. However, his left arm is very badly injured. 13 minus... Right, so look at these hit points. Oh dear. Right. The Broo collapses to the ground, bleeding profusely from the left arm. And you have totally chopped him. Right, leaving us with Broo 5. Broo 6 is dead. Good old Krish.
You can do it.
Misses with the bow.
Obviously not.
For a change. Oh, did I roll that? Oh,
Yeah.
That is bizarre. Right.
You did wrong, yeah.
Yeah. Because I've got GM tools, if I've got a token highlighted, I'll roll for that token. So it was coming up as a brew.
Okay.
Right. So Krish shoots again with his bow, hitting the brew in the left leg.
It's always the left
Drawing
leg.
blood, it's always the left leg.
I want that on a t-shirt.
It's always the left leg. Right, the brew is bloodied, barely standing, blood running down his gauty face, and
so it's a bad time for this.
Quick question.
He's got red and green and blue stripes on his head. That's the one that's got the blood running down his face.
You know how before we've been fighting and people have surrendered and stuff like that.
Oh, you don't do that with brew.
Oh, no. I'm just going to say, I take it we don't do that with like chaos and brew.
Chaos, you just don't. You just murder them to death.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, they generally won't surrender either because they know that it's no quarter. So it's generally a fight to the death with chaos. But I've just got awful brew. They just can't do jack shit. Although they hit Bracy, so that's something. For like 2 points of damage. Right, next up we have Brufo is dead.
No, it's me.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I want to go to the right so I can see around the rock and then try and disrupt Brufo.
Nice, love it. It's like, ready, he's almost out, lads. Everybody fire the disruptions. Pew, 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 pew. Get those power gain rolls. Right, so you successfully cast it. You need to overcome his power now.
So spirit combat.
Which is, it's just roll a D100. What's your power?
My power is
15.
15, yeah.
So you have a advantage of 4, which is 20%, so you've got a 70% chance of overcoming. Yeah, so you do a D3 damage.
Oh, whoops. That was...
Nice.
Right.
In the 16.
Right. He looks like he's almost... That's arm again. He looks like he's almost dead now. And he gets one final stab at Shashalian. Before everybody shouts pull and the disruptions just go off. Dave, I don't know how familiar you are with RuneQuest, but to gain an increase in power, which is very important, you need to engage in spirit combat or cast a spell that overcomes a target power. So disruption is a cheap 1-point spell, and basically everybody should disrupt once per adventure because you get your free power gain roll.
Okie dokie. So that's another one I need to learn.
You need to learn disruption, yes. It's the cheapest and easiest to cast to get a power gain roll. There are others like Befuddle and things like that, but basically if you just disrupt something, bad things happen to it. Right, short sword. Right, it's almost dead. It's barely standing. There's blood teeming from all its wounds. It takes a wild stab at Shashalian and misses. And then it's Shashalian's turn. And he brings the pain. On the right leg. And... Right. It tries to parry with its short sword. It fails. It's staggering. You dip underneath its guard and you slash it in the leg, but it's so badly wounded from all of the various things, even though you only do 2 points of damage, that is enough to put it on 0 hit points. And the brew collapses to the ground, dead. And you have defeated the brew in this room here.
That was just the scouts.
No, the really tough brew with healing 6 failed a spirit magic roll and could not heal herself because she
started it.
Because I am crap at this.
Great Jam, bad at RuneQuest.
I'm terrible at rolls. I'm bad at Fate as well. I'd never succeeded at a single roll I made when I was GMing Fate.
Is that a chest I see in between me and Davey?
Right, I am just about to let you know. Ooh, I'm using the new scroll thing. Okay, that was bad. The new scroll thing is bad. it's opened up a second window. Yeah, or won't be using that anymore then. Right, so sorry about that. Just all went horribly wrong again. The scatter ball is this point rising out of a dry sandy floor. Near the one furthest from the entrance to this room is a small chest with a bronze padlock on it. Right, what do you gentlemen want to do? What do you gentlemen want to do in this room?
Well,
check for traps.
Does anyone know detect magic? Anyone know the detect magic spell?
I believe. No, I don't. I have a dispel magic. That's why.
Got dismiss magic.
Nabbit.
Right, okay, I've just tried advanced scrolling, which has now crashed Roll20, so I guess I need to do
Don't do that.
Don't do that then. So I will just have to scroll about the old-fashioned way.
Well, since we don't have detect magic, I will get an arrow out and carefully search the body of the boss. But I am touching nothing that isn't being touched with an arrow. I'm looking for, focuses, charms, crystals, anything like that.
She has, now that she's dead, her body has stopped shimmering in that weird way where it was like out of focus and difficult to see. And she has several. Right, there is a crystal. There's a crystal that's on a thong around her neck. There is 2 small pots, useful for containing liquids, and there's 1 small bottle. It's like a leather flask, so you can't see through them, but it's definitely for containing liquid. And
I'll get out a sack, and I'll use the sack to pick the items up and place them inside it. I'm not touching any. And then I will search the room while everyone else is doing whatever.
Can we get Chris, as he's NPC in at the minute, to keep an eye up that corridor on the right in case anything comes up it?
Yeah.
While we do the search and shite.
Right, so yes, so there's the crystal, which is obviously something because crystals are all something important. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 portion containers all. So there's a couple of like jars. There's a couple of leather flasks that you can drink out of.
I've successfully searched, but obviously it's going to take us a while to do that. Yeah. So I'm doing that while people are doing whatever.
There is all the weapons at the brew carry a bronze, including the female. You do see that one brew's missing 1 toe. Don't know why he's missing 1 toe. I'd just like to mention it because it's specifically written down in the scenario that he's missing a toe. So
that'll be the next quest. Hunt for the brew's toe.
The rest are not carrying anything.
And if he had his socks on, would never have known.
Just weapons, just weapons and armour. Those ones. Right, so while Earl's searching her, what are the rest of you doing?
No, I'm going to search the room.
You're searching the room.
I'll get the stuff off her and then I'll search the room. But it'll take a while.
You have succeeded at search. Well, is anybody else searching, or are you just leaving it to Earl to trip up and?
I'm really bad at searching, so I'm just gonna let. I don't typically find things, so I'm just gonna let. Go down.
I'll have a search. Where is it?
Does this chest look locked, Rich? It's got a lock on it.
It's got padlock on it.
Okay. The key's probably going to be on the bloody female brother, I would have thought.
Okay, as the moment I see the rogue looking at the chest, I want to back up to the corridor before asking.
And
I ain't touching it yet.
Right, so, Ruwalan, as you are searching about the room, you find that there seems to be something buried all along the wall. About here, it's quite badly buried, but because it's a sandy floor, it wasn't just freely noticeable.
Right.
And so I will. Right, that can't be wrong. Right, the length of this, because it's wider than the room, so I'm going to say it's about 3 meters. Something long and straight, about 3 meters. Can you say that on the map?
Yes,
Buried in
right.
the sand.
So,
right. According to this, it says it's 12 meters long, which is longer than the room.
Well, I'd better put my sword out and see if I can excavate it with the end of my sword.
Right, you start digging around. There's a little clunk, and you scrape away some of the thing, and it looks to be a piece of solid wood, like a bar or a beam.
Right.
Like a small railway sleeper, if only the dwarves had railways.
I've found a plank, lads.
Could that be the bridge?
And Andy says, it looks about 12 metres long, but then it wouldn't fit in the room, so it's got to be shorter than that.
It probably isn't 12 metres, I agree with you, unless we're in some sort of blue box.
Or unless we've found the end of it and it goes straight down from there. And I'm certainly not digging that out. If that's the end, like the short end of it.
No, it's basically a buried beam, like a sturdy piece of timber.
Right. Well, it never comes in wrong having a sturdy piece of timber. Is there anything? I take it there's no underneath it.
No, it just looks like it's been buried for some reason. You don't know why. The GM doesn't know why. Why they didn't just prop it up against the wall? I don't know, but it was buried in the sand in the floor.
Does it look like the sort of thing that we might find a use for later?
It definitely does. It almost has quest item written on it.
Yeah.
With an exclamation mark above it.
Yes. There's an exclamation point.
Well, I'd better drag it out then, and I'll lay it up against the wall.
Right. Ruwalan drags out this sturdy beam and leans it against the wall.
Canny bit of timber, that.
And it looks about... Yeah, it looks about 3 meters long, not 12 meters long. Although it would be hilarious trying to get you to move 12 meters of wood down that corridor. And
we'll just chop it into shorter lengths.
Right, Bracy, the chest is old and battered and has a brass padlock on. It looks quite a strong padlock, though.
Right, so we haven't found a key when we search these brews up or not.
Well, Earl was searching the brew with the point of an arrow. He wasn't raking in amongst.
Okay.
Do you want to stick your hand down a bra? Because that's normally where people hide stuff.
No, not unless I've got disposable gloves on us.
You do. You do actually have, remember, linen gloves and linen overalls and stuff for brew bodies.
That's good. Yeah, okay. I'll put them on and then I'll search the brew bodies and then I'll
because he's got
burn the bloody linen.
He's got no fear.
Can I get more than fear?
I've just been swimming in a river full of brew shite. If I'm going to catch something, I've already got it.
You saw right there. Right, see, make a search roll. You can have a 20% bonus.
So,
right, you're still a little hesitant, but you have a search about, and you don't find a key upon a person.
Kane, smash this lock off, mate.
Sure.
Brute force and ignorance.
Yeah, I'll go over and cut it. Do I need to roll?
No, you just start wheeling on it, and after a few short swings, the lock breaks free.
Okay. Right. I will then stand back from the chest before I open it.
I was going to say, I get Kate to stand back, and I use my axe or this new scimitar to lever up the chest lid.
Right, you lever up the chest lid, and inside there's a jewel-encrusted dagger, and it's got a weird broo humanoid figure as the hilt. And also there's 2 more small clay jars with stoppers, with wax stoppers in there.
Okay. I'll just dump this in the swag bag for now till we get them identified.
Yeah, who's carrying the bag of swag?
Okay, we'll dump in the swag bag, and then I'll search the chest to make sure if there's any hidden compartments or anything.
You search it by chopping into matchwood.
Matchsticks!
Matchstick it! No, there's nothing else in there.
Oh, and I really success.
Are you taking the dagger with the strange broo hilt?
No, I'm putting that in the swag bag. Of course, if it looks like a broo, I ain't touching it.
We'll put it in the dangerous bag of dangerous.
Yeah, because that's probably chaos shite.
Did I find anything from searching the room, or is it all picked?
No, you picked it clean. You had a look at her, and by the time you'd done that, Andy had already found the
I know,
the plank of wood.
Right. In that case, I'm going to have a slow sneak around.
Right, as you approach that. Approach that cavern, the floor becomes more rocky, and the noise of the river from where you've come from seems to have be a little bit muffled, but there's an equally loud noise coming from up ahead.
Is it a noise of a river or the noise of a large army coming our way?
It sounds the noise of a large army disguised as a river.
Right.
They're holding a big piece of blue cloth over them and making bubbling noises. No, it
you
just
do know
like
that I will try that given half the chance, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't expect anything less.
Right, guys.
Yeah.
Form up. I'm going to just slowly move ahead and see what's going on, and then I'll... Yeah.
Before we follow Earl up the tunnel, Rich, can I have a quick scan roll to see, does it look like there's footprints that's gone up that tunnel, or has it been used a lot, or has it not been used, or what?
That's generally a track and roll. Although I will accept thingy, but you can see a lot of churned up sand at both sides of the cavern where it turns into tunnels. So there has been quite a lot of traffic through this. There's a lot of it coming straight through the room, and there's a lot of it coming into the room because there's bedrolls and things like that.
Okay.
Right, I'll move. I'll sneak to. Do you want hide and sneak rolls?
Yes, you can make hide and sneak rolls, although it's very hard to fail your sneak roll unless you fumble it because of the loudness of the river. The other fork you have seen, so you estimate that the other fork's coming out down here.
Right.
The passageway turns south. Again, it's still rocky. And as you sneak ahead, you hear the really loud noise of the river that's deafening, so you can't actually speak. It's so loud.
Right.
At this point.
I'll wave back at Quacktavish to tell them to move. At this point, since we're in a rocky area that's changing to sand, can I do some tracking?
You can.
I've lost my character. Where's he go? There he is. Failed there.
Cool.
Right, there's a lot of churned up sand here. Yeah, but you can't make out individual footprints or whatever.
I'll hug the wall here.
Yeah. Right. As you move down into the, you see the river, and you see a short section of beach ahead of you. And across the river, across the other side of the river, there is another tunnel opposite you. The rest of the party filed behind you.
Do we have to cross
in front of
this
the very dim light, you see 3 ropes hanging from the cavern ceiling overhead. 2 are tied to the river bank on your side, and 1 is tied to the other side of the river. Between flows the river, cold, dark, and too noisy for conversation.
Would that plank look like it would fit across there?
It
I was just going to say that.
It looks like it would actually fit across there.
We should get the plank.
Can everybody please make me a power times 1 roll?
Possibly.
Or just roll D100 if it's easier to just click on the little dice and click D100.
Hang on.
Nope.
I'll roll for Krish. No, Krish. No, that's not power times 1. Right, so it looks like the plank would fit across this area here. But obviously you'd be balancing across it.
Could you hold the ropes while you walked across?
It looks like you could, yes.
I'll turn round to McLovin and say,
right,
does this look like a trap to you?
Everything looks like a trap to me.
Good point.
Right, I made the
So it looks like it would fit across there. Again, that is not 12 metres, although as hilarious as it would be to be 12 metres long. Right, Dave, you stub your toe on something as you come into the cavern in the sandy bit.
I'll check to see what it is.
Right, it looks to be another piece of rope. Another piece of wood, similar to the one that Andy dug.
Could we lay them down next to each other to get a wider plan?
It certainly seems possible.
We should do that.
I bet you've got no rock armor piercing arrows on you, Earl, have you?
I don't. But if I could get some, I would certainly use them.
I'm just thinking, if we could lay these 2 planks down, and maybe you could fire an arrow across into one of the rocks or something, just so we can get a rope across, and then one of us, with the best balance, goes over, and then tie it off. That might help.
Well, what I'll do is, once the planks are down, I'll hold on to one of the ropes, put my bow away and everything, get across, take a rope with us, like tie us off, take a rope across, because we've learned. Then I'll tie the rope off to one of these big boulders and then cover us.
Kane is obviously not having any of this and has stayed in the room next to the fire getting...
Oh no, it's lagging so much for us. I'm just not bothering moving me token. I'm listening to what's going on, and I remember this part of this scenario from doing it in the past.
I don't, which is alarming.
I do. I remember some bad shit. But
how fast is this river flowing, Rich?
Well, when you went into it the last time, incredibly fast, it dragged you under and almost drowned you. This is the source of the river. You were having to make swim walls just to try and stop from drowning. You couldn't make any headway against it.
Does it like there's any brew turds or anything flowing down this bit?
Not currently at the moment, but you do find some broken and empty clay jars along the edge of the beach. So it looks like they may have been pouring something into it, or...
Couple of questions. How big is this square on this map, roughly? It's a meter.
It's a meter, yeah.
Okay, and how, the rocks in the previous room, how structurally sound did they look?
There were big boulders. They're about 3/4 of a meter high.
I know what you're thinking.
Are you going to
Okay.
try and push the boulders into the river?
No, well, I mean, we could do that, but I was gonna tie a rope around the boulder, one of the boulders.
Yeah, that looks like
That's a good idea. That.
And then when put it around the corner, and at the very least, if someone,
Yeah, because you've got tons and tons of rope, haven't you?
Yeah, because I'll take the first thing across and I'll tie it off at the other end. And we'll have like because of the way the thing is, we'll literally have a line. I'll get the draw.
If 1 square is a meter, that means the furthest jump point is a meter. If we've still got mobility on, literally, what bonus does that give us to give a jump over the river?
If we fail our jump roll, we get to be drowned, so we shouldn't do it.
Not if we've got a rope on us.
Well,
why don't you send me?
Oh, that is a good point. We'll send him.
That's a very good point, Andy. Well presented.
I'll stop tying myself up and I'll tie Andy up. Actually, you tie Andy off. I've got to do something. I will get that brought a bottle of pure water.
Yeah.
You don't want to rephrase any of that, do you?
I'm going to.
Because you were saying about getting Andy off there, Earl?
Yeah, I'll get Andy off later. McLovin, you take a turn on him. I'm all ducked up.
Smiles.
It was the tying up bit I was looking forward to.
Oh God. While they're doing this, I'll spend a few minutes pouring clean water into this water and pray into the river.
Right. Seems sensible. Right, so I take it that purple line is what you plan on doing with the rope.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get across the river? Are you going to get Andy to walk across?
No, Andy's going to take the rope over the other side and then tie it to there. It's tied up to that boulder in the other room. Then we'll run it through the corridor and round Andy. And Andy walks across the river and then ties it to that boulder, and then we all use that.
Right, love it. Okay, so you have 2 planks laid, two sturdy pieces of wood. I can't emphasize enough how sturdy they are. Okay, like that.
Is one side of the wood slimier than the other? Because if so, that's down.
Well, there's one side damper because they were buried under the sand.
Right, the damp side's down, the dry side's up.
And like, looking at this map, can you imagine how long 12 metres of wood would be?
Yep, and how you would get it round any of these corners. We had a guy who used to use a pike in an adventure like this once, and that took a lot of explaining. 3 metre pike, the tunnel's not 3 metres high, yeah? So how do you get around corners? Anyway, I'll carry on doing me off.
Right, so Andy, are you what's the plan for getting across this? Just walking across and testing your luck?
Well,
hang on, Earl.
I was just wondering if that was the plan, or are they going to throw me across, or am I just going to sort of trot across the planks, or what? I'm not plunging through the water, that's for sure. Well,
Andy, you're an expert in water, and this is a source of river, and you reckon that even you would struggle to like swim against it. It's absolutely roaring. You can barely talk to each other. You have to like literally shout into each other's ears at point blank range.
Right. Well, in that case, I shall go to the end of these planks and give them a good stamping on, just to make sure that they are firmly attached at both ends.
They are firmly attached at both ends. They're perfectly safe to go across.
I don't like it when you say things like that. Well, I suppose then...
Just before you go, Andy.
Yes?
I was going to say, why don't we tie off the rope to this rock here?
Right, that's the other side. We're trying to get
hang on. I know, I'm just going to say, when we get across, right? And then we've hammered a load of bloody brass nails and stuff into that bridge. We must have at least one left.
I've got loads. I had 2.
Why don't we try and hammer one at least partially way into the rock's face where Crawdon is here?
Yes.
And then the rope would go straight across where the planks are.
Yeah, good idea. We'll put a pit on it.
Yep, I'll do that before I go.
Right.
Right. And at least we can hold on the rope when we go over. When you get across.
Right. I'm confused. What are you doing, Andy?
Right, hang on. How do you ping something on this map?
You should just be able to like click and hold on a spot.
Yeah, hold the left mouse button down.
He's going to put a pitting
Right.
in there.
Yes, in
so
there.
that the rope, when he takes it across, will go across. They'll follow the same route as the.
Got ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get yourself across, Andy.
Overly cautious, like. It's only a river.
Plus, we weren't last time, and look what happened.
Yeah, that's true. And it was amusing when Andy was just rotating on the spot, though, winding the rope around him.
Right. So that's the plan.
Yes.
And that's where I'm hoping I'm going to end up.
Right, so you're just walking across using your balance. Are you balancing using the rope that's tied off against the thing?
Well,
are you jumping? Are you being thrown?
No, I'm not jumping. I'm walking, and I'm using anything that's going to help to balance me.
Right, you grab hold of the slimy rope and unhitch it from the wall, and you start to walk across the two planks you've laid either side of each other. Can you make a Dex ×5 roll, please?
Crawdan, do you want to notch an arrow just in case and cover?
Mind you,
in case Andy falls, you put him out of his misery before he drowns.
I can do that.
No, in case we get ambushed.
The ducks fell. Quick, shoot him.
Fire arrow and some more. Everyone got your orange sauce.
Mind you, I think I'd be better off actually using my own balance rather than relying on them ropes, because I've just got this nasty feeling. Hang on.
Yeah.
You pull it. There's an Acme a 16-ton square block of stone falls out the same with Acme written on it.
Exactly.
Where did he get an anvil from?
No, I said a 16-ton block of stone with Acme carved into it.
No, it should be an anvil that he bought off. That they bought off. Oh man, Quack John's mate.
We know who you mean, yeah.
Gringle.
Aye.
So personally, I think I'd be better off not using that rope that's hanging about there.
Right. Well, make a Dex ×5 roll then.
Right, that's the first round, isn't it?
It is right. You successfully stretch your arms out like a tightrope walker, and you walk successfully to the other side of the beach. Nothing collapses. The roof doesn't fall in on you. It's all good.
And then I shall quickly tie the rope off as instructed and pull out my short sword and take up a defensive stance about there. Leaving enough room for the rest of the chaps to come over there behind me.
I'll put my bow away, carefully go across, and then go into a defensive stance as well.
Right.
With me bow out. There. No, wait, cover. There.
Right, we've got enough precautions that basically, unless you're going to roll a 96 to 100, you're going to be fine getting across the river.
That's good then.
Because you've got things tied to yourself, you've got things balanced.
We've learned. I need AFK again for 30 seconds.
No bother. So whoever's crossing, please make a roll. Ooh, Krish is close.
Is this on Dex, is it?
Just roll. Unless you roll a 96 to 100, you get across fine because you've got so many preparations going. Whatever method you use, if you grab the ropes and give them a tug, they do feel slimy and not safe at all. So if you try to rely on those, you'd have probably just fell in. Right, and you come across into another cavern on the other side of the river, which is just a rough, sand-covered cavern.
Is it still noisy, or can we hear things?
No, it's you're near the river, so it's literally roaring. You're basically communicating by shouting in each other's ears and using hand signals. It's so incredibly noisy.
Shall I have a peek around the corner again?
That sounds like a plan to me. You're the snaky one. As in bested snaking.
Yeah, I see you go first there.
Right. This time, if you see me charge in, go straight after us.
That sounds like a great plan, doesn't it? Right, so...
Actually, Can I have a scan roll, Rich, to see where the footprints are going in the floor? Are they going in one direction, or are they all over the place?
It's pretty much a thoroughfare from north to south. This war, where there seems to be a lot of.
So the floor's probably not trapped then.
So the floor is
where
lava.
the footprints been. Right. Well, I'll nip between the rocks, and then I'll make my way down towards the where the entrance is on the south.
Now you're gonna laugh. I promise you, you're gonna laugh. Right? Because you are on page 99 of the adventure, but my printout goes from 98 to 100. So, if you just bear with me, it's like, oh, there's a dragon in there with you.
I'm back. What?
Sorry, Earl, there was a dragon in there with you.
Again?
Yeah.
Well, we're on the same team now, aren't we? We're moving over.
No, what happened was...
Please say there isn't really a dragon in here.
There's not a dragon in here. No, the pages I've got printed out, right, jump from 98 to 100 and you're on page 99. So I am desperately trying to find out what's in the room you're in. That's what I'm saying. Oh, there's a dragon.
Rask. Right. I'll look around the room.
Right, okay. You see a GM sitting in the corner madly flicking through the adventure trying to get to page 99.
Okay, in that case we should... I'll stand a guard if you just want to search the room. I'll guard this corridor. Because we've got that way behind us. We seem to have circumnavigated the network.
What network?
The network of tunnels. We've circumnavigated them by the look of it.
This should be like any online game. You get right to the end and it's like, oh, there's a handy tunnel coming above where you came in the entrance. You just drop down and leave quick.
Oh, right. Okay. So, right. What ambushes you in this room? Outside of the sand, boulders and timber, there is nothing else here. Wow. I looked all the way through the adventure for that. This is an empty sand chamber. The sand is quite churned up, obviously, with hoof prints and footprints.
Right. Anyone objectify Scout again, or does someone else want to do it?
McLovin's good at scouting, isn't he?
I'll
Be
scout.
my guest.
Right. I will do a sneak and hide roll, and I will also check for tracks. And I will listen.
Oh, success.
Right,
Listen first.
You can't hear anything because of the roaring of the river.
Sorry, you're right, I can't.
It's incredibly... You're like, but that's only because it's loud. It's not...
Yeah. Can I hear the tracks?
No, you can hear the tracks.
Can I see the tracks?
You've moved off the sandy bit and into another rocky bit, as evidenced by the...
Yes, but
the
I'm
change in
also
texture.
really good at tracking.
You're really good at tracking. There's a lot of dirt and filth this way. There's evidence that this corridor is heavily trafficked. Heading south.
I'll make the universal hand sign for be careful. Like, at which point everyone who hasn't got a weapon in the hand draws a weapon.
Yeah, by this point your spells have worn off.
Yeah.
Because they only last 10 rounds. Rune magic lasts a lot longer, but normal spells only last 10 rounds.
Right, I'm going to press on, and as soon as I see something bad, I'll fall back.
I'm telling you, stop this trap!
You know.
I was just kidding.
I'm taking it nice and easy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what you can see. You creep forward down this southward heading corridor. It's all natural rock. The floor is rocky. Right, and you can please give me a scan roll. And Rewallen and McLovin give me a scan roll.
Made it.
Oh, made it.
Likewise.
Right, you can see a dim light coming from here, this direction. It looks as if it opens up into another cave.
It's not sunlight, is it?
No, it looks like it's flickering as if it's firelight again.
Right. I'll make sure everyone can see, and I'll make the hand signal for get ready.
What is the hand signal for get ready?
I'll signal McLovin to stop moving. Get ready, as in I'll pull out my bow and knock an arrow and draw it. That's the signal for get ready.
Like I was saying, if you see me peer in the corner, then run out in the room, you know I've been spotted and shit's gone wrong.
I'm going to creep up and see if I can get a sniper shot in on one of them to open things up.
I'm going to move carefully, stealthily, and sneak a look around the corner again.
Well, hang on, wait until
after everybody else is part of the covenant.
Anyone doing magic?
Is anybody doing any magic now so that I can add it to the tracker?
I am going to do protection 4 again.
Protection 4.
I'll do protection 2.
Right, okay, you'll have to. I wonder if I can do a macro where I can just click it and add it to the tracker.
Whoops.
Be able to. Right.
Once everyone's magicked up, I'll
Andy, prop 4.
2.
2, 3.
I'll take the 4, mind, if you want to give us a couple of free ones.
Can I have a listen roll to see if I can hear any brew or anything?
Yeah, but unless you get some like critical success, you're not going to hear anything because you can barely hear people shouting.
What?
Right, okay, I've got Andy's prot 2, I've got Earl's prot 4, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll cast...
Who's casting what?
Prot 2 and...
A round's only 12 seconds, so basically if you spend a minute buffing up, you can cast like 2 or 3 spells each if you want to. So, like Andy and his amazing Fireblade, but I think is that 3 or 4 points?
Prot 2, Blade Chop 1. Blade Chop 2, Prot 2. It's 4.
I'll go for the Proc 4, and I shall try and do the true weapon.
But just to be absolutely sod all in this, but Richie just piss off.
I'll do Prot 2. Just
right, Dave. You can do true weapon because again, it's not a stressful situation. So you can basically, because you don't lose it when you try to cast it, you can just cast it, and since it takes effect instantly, you can just cast true weapon. So, however, you cast in God magic, so that has a very visible effect. So basically, like, you have skulls overlaid, you have your sword glows black. What does it look like when you cast True Sword? Remember, this is flashy God magic that everybody can see. It's not like secret ninja magic.
Happy rainbows.
Yeah,
and it's instant, so you can hold on until actually hitting
black
people in the face.
skulls start swirling round us.
I think you went dead halfway through there.
Just the standard black skulls crawling up and down the sword and.
Yeah, you keep cutting out.
What?
You keep cutting out halfway through your sentence. Are you leaving go of the button, or is it just Discord cutting out?
I don't know. I'll just hold it down. Am I coming through fine now?
Yeah.
Yeah, black skulls crawling up and down the sword and up my arm and all that.
Right, okay. So Dave obviously has cast some wicked ass God magic. So Dave's got True Sword on. Is anybody else casting anything?
I said Prot 2. I don't know if you got that. But yeah.
I'll stick Prot 2 on for you. That's not a problem. Right, Ryan sticks his Prot 2 on. Right, okay, so what's the current plan as you're communicating now with hand signals mostly, because you're in a narrow corridor, and it's really loud. So, Bracy, are you going first?
Can't we get everybody in this little, even though it's only like 1 meter square, can we get everybody in this little cavern where we are, stacked up behind us? So if we're charging, we're going in one behind each other and not, a massive distended line.
Yes.
Right. This time I'll wait there in and I'll whisper to them, I'm going to have a look. If I charge in, come in after me. Because things have gone wrong and I've been spotted.
Aye.
And then I'll wait till everybody's in the cavern, and then I will very carefully and very slowly peek around the corner.
Okay, well, sneak forward then a little bit. Everybody gets up behind you. You basically gesture to each other, you're waving each other up, then you're all standing in a nice lit line. If only there was lightning bolts to just bounce up and down that corridor, just think of the fun that would have.
Now I'm frightened.
Right, do you want to scan or...
Entire to me sword.
For a scan?
Yeah, give us a scan then.
Success.
Right, so... all you see so far is there is definitely a fire coming from within this room. It's casting shadows about there. There isn't anything you can actually see at the moment.
Right, okay. I will let everybody know that. What do you reckon? The tanks charging first and we're going behind, or?
Creep forward. Let the tanks creep forward first, and then we'll follow them up. Or if you want, I can try and snipe someone in.
Oh, Bracy, can I just have a con ×5 roll of you, please?
Okay, hang on. That's the second rune, isn't it?
No, it's the first rune's ×5. The second rune's times whatever. Right.
Success.
Right, you succeeded. You're okay.
Do I feel anything? Tingly?
No, everything's fine.
Feathery?
God, I've probably got bloody Ebola or something, haven't I?
Right, I will creep towards the entrance. And I've got my bow out ready, and I'll just step past here and look.
Alrighty then. So can I have a scan roll from you?
There's nothing there.
Right, Earl, it's absolutely clear you're convinced that there's nothing in that room.
Yeah, it's all good, boys.
Danger.
I'll just wander nonchalantly forward then.
Can I ask a quick question, Rich?
What?
Is there, like say if one of your team parties down or you're protecting someone, can you deflect a bow shot with a shield? If I run over and if Earl was down on the floor, could I sit on Earl with my shield up if it was, a medium or large shield and protect him from an arrow shot?
I would certainly allow it, yeah, why?
Okay, I was just wondering, that's all.
What are you thinking, that I'm going to get shot in the face now?
No, because I watched Conan the other night.
Ah.
And when he took that bow shot with the snake thing,
yeah.
I was just wondering how something like that would work in RuneQuest if you could actually do something like that.
Yeah, you can defend other people if you want to.
Okay, sorry to go off on a tangent.
Fine. I'm absolutely fine with that.
That's a retardedly good question. Have I noticed the fact that I can actually see something yet?
I was just getting their character sheets up to see if they noticed you, just because you convinced you didn't see anything.
But
forward,
I am still moving slowly. I'm still creeping. I'm just didn't see. I'll play oblivious.
Right, you get to the corner of the room. You're still quite cautious because you have.
Because it's how I roll.
Because there's brewing here. You know there's brewing here somewhere, unless they're all dead, in which case you've killed them all. And apparently, this brew here, Earl, brew 7, spots you. He's standing by the fire, warming his hands. He spots you at the same moment as you spot him.
Good. I've got a ball ready. I'll shoot him. I'll shoot him and run out of the room.
Shouting, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!" Right,
I'll just shoot him and then run. I'm not even checking to see if I hit.
Right. So what you see as you walk into that room is 3 of the, I would say, normal brew. This brew here, his eyes are glowing. This brew here, he has his skin is kind of like polished bronze.
That's not good.
And this brew here is very confusing, as it appears his face is on upside down.
The one I'm going to shoot has an upside down face.
It has an upside down face.
I'll give him a third eye.
This guy. Right, this guy is built like Arnie Schwarzenegger in his most bodybuilding days. He's got muscles upon muscles upon muscles. He has enormous like satyr type horns coming out of his head, and the top of his head is a goat's head, but it's all shaggy, and the hair goes down onto his shoulders as if it's kind of like a shawl. And he's carrying a large spear. It looks to be a two-hander, and he's also got a broadsword and a medium shield next to him. But because he didn't detect you, because I roll rubbish, and only that brew did, you can take a shot at that brew.
I will take a shot at him, and then I'm away up the corridor.
Upside down face.
Oh, I thought that was a 0-5 there, not a 50. I thought that would be awesome. What did you do? I shot him dead.
Right, okay. Mr. Upside down face's appearance is confusing. How much did he succeed by?
I hit him by 31.
Right, that is enough. Because he is.
And I did 8 to his right leg.
He is much harder.
Oh no, 7 to his right leg.
You did 7 to his right leg. Right.
I'm away up this corridor.
And he bleats in pain. And there's a cry of alarm, which is quite hard for everybody to hear because the racket. In the far corner, you saw piles of food, clothing, loot. It looks like.
Right, as I tell us when I pull up to the other two, because I'm going straight past.
Everybody, please roll initiative, and that is number 7. Yeah, we're looking at, and you got him for 7 in the right leg, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a better arm than the other guy. He doesn't look quite as badly hurt as the other one did. They grab weapons and.
Where's the initiative?
Oh, sorry, Dave. I need to do yours again. Oh, you got 17 this time. It's better. Has everybody rolled except for Dave, who I've rolled for him?
Yep.
Right, do the order in descending order. Right, so Earl, you can run 4 squares after shooting.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
I will say, big room, BBG.
And you push past Croden, and Earl's obviously just fired his board. He runs past you all. Right, first up, McLovin, what would you like to do?
Right. Quick question about the character sheets. how many points? Well, where can you see how many rune magic points you've got left?
I believe me and you were on none.
Andy's on none because Andy's seven spirited.
Well, that's what I want to know. I want to know how many I've got.
It's on the main sheet.
Is it the blue ones on the character?
No. You've got like 3. You start with 3.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
And you only get them back by worship. So Andy's blue is what, as it were.
That's fine. That's okay. Well, I was just thinking of a plan, and that plan's gone out. So, all right, I'll follow Earl up the tunnel. Going, what the fuck?
No, they're coming.
Well, we need to get out the tunnel and get back somewhere where we can ambush them, like north in the big tunnel, the big room where we've just killed everything.
Or we can bounce them off our tank. We've got them here.
Right, you're standing taut and Bracy, so I'm skipping your turn. Right.
Okay.
Choke point. We're in a choke point.
Well, you just said run, so...
I'm running and we're in a choke point. Let them come up.
Don't say run then. If you say run, I'm going to turn and run.
Because my plan is to step this way to let the others pass. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got them in a choke point. If you go left...
Okay. Quick 30 seconds AFK for a bio while everybody else is doing their turn.
Have one for me.
I'm just doing things. Don't worry about it. Right, so that's his action for the turn, and he prepares his weapons. And, of course, it's Crodan next. You're up, sir.
Well, I will turn round and get ready to shoot the first thing that comes up that...
Okay, right, seems sensible. You prepare your bow. Right, that's the next one. That's one of the Bracy shot. Oh, that sucks. He doesn't have any. Right, so. And then we are up to Kane. Nothing's come out of that tunnel other than who is running towards you, and he's turned around and then he's holding his bow ready. He looks a little wild-eyed, to be honest.
I've said BBG's incoming. We're at a choke point.
Have you...
You've shouted that. Kin, you're 2 squares away. Can you make a listen roll because of the noise of the water to hear whether Earl had said that? Otherwise, he's just flapping his gums. Right. Earl's just mouthing off, and you can see Kane going, "What?" But he's like just miming it because you can't hear for the noise.
I'll point over my shoulder and go, "Grrr!"
What would you like to do, Kane?
Does it look like Crodan has prepared his bow and is looking back the way he came? Or?
Yes, he has. He's facing down the tunnel and he's holding his bow. Like I said, he looks a little panicked.
I'll move down the corridor then. Can I get past it? Or is it too tight?
No, there's enough.
Well, I'm into there, yeah.
Yeah, you can move down the corridor.
I'm bobbing out, but I'll bob to the left to let people pass.
Yeah, it will. It's not directly opposing you, so.
I'll move diagonal 1. I'll push past McLovin. One decides to do it.
Right, so is that your end of your movement? Or are you continuing to move forward?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to move more, but unfortunately, it's like for term. I don't know what it is, but roll 20 is really bad for my. I don't know what it is.
Right. So, would you like to move where?
That actually that's fine.
Okay. Right. You move forward. You prepare weapons. It's almost as if bad shit's about to happen.
I can't see Ryan.
I still think this is a bad place. I think we should move back into the other room. But
Well, if we have to retreat, we'll retreat up that way.
it's a long way to go.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We get in the multiple sides, and they've got a limited amount of people who can get into us.
Right. Shashalian.
You're not a tank. Can't pop
you're up next,
photogrammatic
Shashalian.
smoke grenades.
You're up, Shashalian.
Yeah, I ready my weapons. Whatever comes.
And finally, Ruwalan.
Right, I'm going to...
You're small enough to get past people anyway.
I'm going to nip across there and fire up the fire blade.
Right, okay. You're in combat situation, so you'll need to make a power times 5 roll or a casting
Right, hang
roll.
about.
If you go to your main and then where it says spirit magic and charisma limit, the next one along is the casting spell rune. Next to charisma limit.
That one.
Boom.
Elemental.
So there's more. So how many times you cast that now? It's like
tonight, twice.
Yes.
And I'm powering it off the crystal.
Yes. Because you've got an 11-point crystal, haven't you?
I have got shitloads left in that crystal.
Right, so Ruwalan moves forward, his blade bursts into fire.
Now, if only that had been an attack roll, I'd have been quite happy with that.
Right, okay, they move there, and...
Watch them all leg it out the other way.
Right, next up we have McLovin.
Right.
Right,
is it possible?
It's a new round.
Right. Is it possible to hang my axe and whip out a thrown dagger?
Yes, you're drawing a thrown dagger.
Right, drawing a thrown dagger. But is it also possible to peek out one square, see if anything's coming up, and lob it at them, or not? Or we'll have to wait next time.
Yes, you can have a look. If you're not moving, if you're just popping your head around the corner.
Yeah.
Right, you look straight down there, look, and I don't think you can see anything.
No, not at the minute.
There's nothing to be seen at the moment.
Oh. I don't see any footprints running up the corridor invisibly, like I did.
No, because you're on a rocky bit if you look at the floor. Right.
Okay. I'll hold me thrown dagger in an aim position, ready for if I spot anybody, and I wait.
Okie doke. Right, can he see anybody? No, because I haven't edited his token, so that would be bad, wouldn't it? Has sight? Yes, that would be good.
I can see someone.
He's behind a rock, though.
Can I see any of them?
He can see Kane. Right, so let's have a go at this. And your power is 15 against his power. Right, so he Right. You see more of this horrendous magical disease stuff. And Kian, can you please give me a con times 5 roll? Right, you succeed. However, the massive pustules and the things like that, it's incredibly more magnified, and you suddenly feel cold, and you get like a tremor in your left hand. And who else can we see?
Me.
We can see you. We can see Crawdan. Right, he's holding. You can see him. He's holding this spear, Earl. And then suddenly, your eyes roll back into your head, and you're attacked from the spirit plane.
Oh, feckin' effects.
So, can we have some spirit combat rolls, please?
I've never done this in this edition, so...
Yes, so what you need to do is...
skills, spirit combat?
Yeah.
Failed. No, succeeded.
And I'm going to... see if this works, because I've never done this either. So hopefully... What do you mean you succeeded? You got 88 out of 45.
No, I got 28.
It
says 28. No, I'm 28 on the dice on the screen. It says 28.
That's weird.
Does anyone else?
It says Crawdon 88 out of 45 to me.
Yeah,
it says 28.
The animated dice is probably just a bit buggy.
That's weird. I'll do the.
However, you successfully fend off because he failed his spirit combat roll.
Right.
You feel a spirit attacking you, which is not good. You're up next. However, you're in spirit combat, so you can attack back.
I will attack the spirit.
Right. So go on, give us a spirit combat roll.
Made it.
Man, and I fail my spirit combat roll as per usual. So you do a d6 plus 1 magic points, or well, whatever your damage is next to spirit combat.
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yes, if you look at your spirit magic, just above that is spirit combat. You've got your spirit combat percentage, and your damage should be next to it. On the main sheet.
Yep, got it. D6 plus 3.
What?
7 damage.
God damn. Right. -7. Right. You lash out with the force of your mind. You feel this spirit.
You really, 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 really shouldn't despoil rivers at their source. You get really upset.
It howls in terror. And you shred some of its ghostly essence. Right. He'll have to wait because they're all moving together. Kane, you're up next. Actually, first up, you see this patch of living darkness comes down the corridor.
Can I poo a little?
You can poo a little bit. It engulfs Shashalian, which is the closest person.
See you, Davey.
Dave, can you make a power times 5 roll, please?
By can you, he means you really should.
Right, I've got the feature. Sorry, power versus con for your shot roll. Right, what's your con, Dave?
16. No, hold it. Aye, 16.
Right, so I need to roll. I need to roll something, so just bear with me a second. Hope I rolled really bad here. Shit, right, okay. So, what would you say yours was?
Mike is 16.
Right, so... Oh, fucking hell. Right, Dave, you feel you're engulfed by this patch of darkness. It stabs long clawed fingers into you. Your skin turns cold where it touches, and then a cold terror grasps you around the heart. Can you please roll the 100 for me? Because it rolled a 2 on its fear shock attack. You don't want 1 to 5. That would be bad. Like, really, really bad. $79, that's good. Victim cowers in fear for 20 minus con rounds. Right, you throw yourself down against the wall. You drop your sword. Your shield's attached to your arm, so you've still got hold of that. And you curl up into a ball and cower on the floor like a little cowery child thing. Now, Kane, you're up. You see Shashelin being engulfed by this immense ball of darkness with like arms that come out and then plunge into him, and it seems as if the darkness is flowing into him. Shashelin screams in terror and rolls up against the wall. Turn himself into a little ball. Sorry, go ahead.
Did I see the guy with the spear doing all this stuff? The big guy that was set the spirit on me?
No. Or you saw him cast some kind of weird, horrible disease type spell on Kane. The other thing, you haven't got spirit sight up at the minute, have you?
No.
Right. So no.
I think it's the big one behind the rock.
Next up we have... Right, because these are the slowest brew in the world, he's having to wait his action. Shashalian cannot do anything for 16 con, you said?
Yeah.
Right, item label. Shash, fear shock. You can't do anything for 4 rounds, you are cowering in fear. Rualan, you're upset. You see this immense darkness elemental engulfing Shash, who's screaming in terror. You think he's weighed himself a little bit.
Can I attack it?
You certainly can.
I'll try and poke it with the fire blade, I suppose.
Right, you plunge the blade into it.
Aye, into it, nor into Dave.
Yes. Right. It screams as the fire banishes the darkness. Bits of it burn away in little ragged tatters that float away, and it looks as if it's been incredibly badly hurt. So cool. Guess who's getting it next turn?
Well, of course, now it knows I'm here.
Right, finally. Right, you finally see, coming down the corridor, 3 brew in a line. They're holding in front of them an enormous table as a gigantic mobile shield. But because one of them's so slow, they've had to wait for him to catch up. So they're carrying this big round wooden table in front of them, like a mobile barricade. You can just see the top of the horns poking over the top.
Can they see the feet though?
You can see just about. You can see small parts of their feet. If you want to aim at the feet, you would have to do a cold shot. Right, so that is Broo 8. And can he actually do anything? Because he's a bit of a nunce. Where is he? A bit of a numpty. And they start marching down the corridor towards you. As bad shit is happening. Broo 8 has compass of bow. Hooray! And he will take a shot at Kane with a compass of bow. Yeah, so I have to do this on the fly, so an arrow streaks out. Ooh! And it would have shot you straight in the head, except he misses, as per usual.
Yeah.
Right, so it actually looks like that. And the two front brew were holding a big table, almost blocking the entire of the corridor, using it as a shield. Everybody's stinging advances. Right, McLovin. It is your turn, sir. You witnessed this. You're witnessing the elemental messing Davey up.
Do normal weapons damage elementals, or has it got to be like your flaming weapons, or what?
It seems to work okay. Your other elemental can be damaged by weapons because it's basically dispelling the stuff the elemental is made out of.
You might need that air elemental soon and take that table off them and batter them over the head with it.
Unfortunately, I've got no bloody spirit magic points left.
Rune points left.
Rune magic points, sorry. Have I got, as we prepared for this adventure, somewhere in a backpack, a flask of oil?
No, not usually. You don't carry flasks of oil normally. That's like dwarven stuff, Greek fire, that. You've got like lamp. You get lamp oil, but it's like low grade stuff. It's not kind of like Andy's.
Yeah, but would it catch fire?
You're a genius. I'll do it next round. I've got the ignite spell.
You could smash it on the front of the table if you wanted.
I don't know. Either smash it on the front. What's going to be easier, smash it on the front of the table or on the ceiling above them?
Just make a throw roll. And then tell us where you want to throw it.
Or the floor that they're going to be walking through, because then even if it doesn't ignite, they might slip over in it.
Good point.
Hang on, just trying to find throw. I can't see throw.
It should be under manipulation, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, hang on. Oh, yes!
Oh, well done, sir.
Right, so where are you throwing it? You
smashing.
On the ceiling, above them, so it drops all on top of them.
Right, okay, you throw this this flask of oil, which does manage to split. It's not a terribly effective weapon. Like I said, it's not Greek fire or anything by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but they're still going to shit their pants.
That is true.
Don't you mean that is Broo?
Yeah, with the sheriff. Pull! I step back.
Rich, when a fire arrow hits something, does it sort of splash sparks everywhere? So if I shot a Broo with the fire arrow, might it set the stuff alight?
It might do. That would probably be a power roll, I would think, for pure sheer look at this. Right, next up. Oh, it's this guy who stepped out from behind the table now. And he has drawn his Because he does not need a lot of big bang spells, unfortunately. Arnie Guy does have a composite bow, which he does shoot at Kane as he steps to one side, because it's not a perfectly narrow table. You're not going to like this much, Kane, I promise. Ready? Right, he does 5 damage to the left leg.
Go through armor.
Right, it bounces off your armor, but his aim is astronomically good. Crodan, you're up.
Right. I'll flame arrow.
Right.
Hang on, need to find the casting thing.
Main, and then next to charisma limit on spirit magic.
Nope, I don't have a number.
Right, well, you know what your spirit magic thing is on the main, what's it?
Yeah, it's a spirit magic
And
charisma level 19.
And then
Or
the rune,
press
press the rune next to the charisma limit. Because that's automatically that's just your casting roll. He failed.
Failed.
He's obviously shaken by the fact that somebody's actually getting hurt, and it's poor Dave, who's just turned up and he's starting to get beaten up.
Alright, I'll get him next time.
Right. He can't act yet. Kane, you're up.
How much protection would this table give them to brew with it in front of them? So what does that do game effect wise?
It's probably equivalent to a medium shield, I would say. Because it's a big, thick, sturdy table. So about 12 points protection.
And do I have to attack through it to hit the brew?
You could wait until the end of the turn and do a called shot. And then try and aim around the table at either their foot or the arm.
Right. Alternatively, can I just throw a javelin in? Because I was shot. Yeah, am I able to throw it over there, or do I like a negative to hit them?
Yeah, again, it'll be a half chance because it'll be a cold shot.
Fuck, I just walk up and hit the table and
just smash the table. Put true sword on and just hack the table in half.
Not that far. I mean, I was tempted, but we're just gonna hack the table in half.
Right, okay. Ken just steps forward, like the bruiser he is, just hacks away at the wooden table. Go ahead. Right, it does 8 damage. It's your sword sticks in the edge. You start hacking away at it, but unfortunately, it's not doing anything. Next up is the 2 brew who are holding the table. They try to push you back with their combined strength. What's your size and strength together?
34.
Yeah, that's enough. They shove you back a square and they advance into... Right, well, they're in the same part of the corridor, but obviously I can't zoom in. They push you back with the table. And next up is Shashelian, who is cowering. That's good. Quacktavish.
I'll have another go at that elemental.
Right, you plunge the blade into the darkest part of the elemental between the eyes, and it shrieks and it vanishes. It dissipates like leaves in the wind. So we have a dead elemental.
Is there any way I can drag Shashalian into that square next to me, into the far corner, so he's out the road, he doesn't get hurt?
Yeah, you can drag him over there like that.
Right.
Okay, so you spend the rest of the round dragging Shashelian like that. Yeah. Next up we have Bruiate, who's going to fire again at Kane over the top. I mean, they're going to have to be going something to get Kane, but they'll have a go. Why not? $7 points on the left leg.
Nope.
Kane's just standing there. Arrows are going tink, tink, tink off his bronzed plate mail armor.
I love that. Nope.
Trouble for the win.
Okay, McLovin.
Can I peek my head around the corner and see where Kane is in relevance to where I've smashed this flask of oil? Because I don't want to set him on fire.
Well, yes, Kane's underneath that bit of oil because they pushed him forward. So both the brew, the table, and Kane are underneath the oil that's on the ceiling. Kane, the floor is a bit slippery as oil seems to have been thrown around the corridor.
Okay.
Right. Can I yell at Kane to pull back and at the same time take a thrown dagger shot at one of the brew in the corridor? Or am I more chance hitting Kane?
You got a 50-50 chance hitting Kane if you're not doing a cold shot. If you're just throwing it into a dark, confusing melee. Kane's just standing there, arrows bouncing off him, his muscles glistening with his oil, hacking away at this table, just like, bring it. Do you know what I mean?
All right, I'll yell at Kane to pull back, and what I want to do is the thrown dagger that I've got in my hand. Can I either cover it in the lamp oil from one of the other flasks, or the bloody thingy fat that I've got from my pack?
Your rhino fat.
So my rhino fat. So I can. What I want to try and do is next turn, if he pulls back, is set fire to my dagger, so I can throw it in at the table and set fire to the brew.
Right. Okay then. Yeah, and quad is peppering Kane with arrows. Peppering he is. Wow, 2 points of damage to the right leg. Right, so another arrow zings off your armour. Croden. McLovin's faffing about with a pot of something and he's trying to stab his dagger in it. Cortavish is dragging Dave out into the corner, who's still rolling round screaming and clutching at his eyes.
I'll fire arrow, shoot the first thing that shows it.
Right, okay, go ahead. Cast your spell.
Did that not roll?
No, I'm not getting anything. I wonder if roll 20's acting up again. No, it rolled.
Yeah,
succeeded. And you succeeded. Right, you have a fire arrow.
Can I see the BBG?
The guy at the back. Yeah. Not from where you are. You'd have to step out into the corridor.
Can I take a step and shoot the BBG?
Yes, you can.
Take a step, shoot the BBG, and I'm going to try to make the arrow bounce off the top part of the table to set sparks.
Right, okay.
Oh, superb.
That's at least worth 2 hero points.
Right, go on then. Give it a shot. 15 on the abdomen. I would say give us a power times 3 roll. As you bounce it off the ceiling and it shoots down and hits Quad in the abdomen. He hasn't got a shield up, so because he's just he's literally peppering Kane full of arrows, waiting for an impale. Abdomen.
What do you want to roll?
Yeah, power times 3.
Yeah, made it.
Right. Well, yeah, that bow shot. Right. The lamp oil ignites the stuff that's dripped onto the table, and dripped onto Kane on the floor. It bursts into fire. You hit the guy at the back with the fire arrow that you know would have been an awesome hit on anybody, and it should have put him down to the ground. but he takes it. It doesn't stick in because it wasn't a special. So basically, the arrow burns his abdomen, but he just sort of brushes it to one side and keeps advancing.
Does he look at us?
Oh yeah, he looks at it. Yeah.
I'll draw another arrow, kiss the end, and start knocking it in the bow.
Right. He's advancing. He's dead. Kane, you're up against the table. Burning oil drips down onto you, onto the brew, onto the table.
Back up.
Fire's not going to hurt him. He's fucking death incarnate.
I'll back up, I guess, then. And I'll attempt to throw a javelin.
Right, you quickly sheath your sword, you pull a javelin out, and you hurl it at what? You can only see parts of the brew?
The one of the closest brew, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Nope.
Right. There's just too much of the table in the way. It bounces off and doesn't do anything. Right, finally, the brew advance with the table, pushing this way. So they're coming up the corridor. Obviously, it looks like they're going to try and push us against the wall and split us up. Shashelin, you've got one more turn and then you can act again. As you quiver in fear.
Is the table on fire, Rich?
The table's not on fire. Like I said, it's low quality oil. It's dripped onto the table and it's smouldering and smoking. But it's not like bursting into fire. It's not like a magical fire blade or anything like that. Speaking of which, Rual and Tavish, you are up next, sir.
Right.
The brew are a mere metre in front of you, holding a table, trying to thrust you against the wall.
Right, well, I want to try and get up there and try and get the fire blade around the table.
Right, and then start stabbing, getting all stabby with them. Go on, give us a roll then. Oh my god.
That any good?
Ow, ow, ow.
Oh my lord!
Right, so Rualan runs around and letting out his mighty battle quack.
Quack.
Does a great hero leap, holds onto the edge of the table with his left hand, pulls himself up as he jumps in the air, stabs the brew straight through the head, and literally it just burns a hole straight through its head. The brew then falls to the ground, instantly killed.
Any chance the fireblade might have ignited some more of this oil?
Yeah, you can certainly wave the fireblade about. This brew was holding two of the legs of the table. It collapses to the ground with a hole burnt straight through its face. And the table crunches to the ground. The other guy wasn't expecting it, and it rolls to one side, catches fire, and then lands at your feet, Andy. This guy is now surprisingly vulnerable, as he was not expecting to. You see a guy behind him holding a compass bow, and you see the big bad guy at the back who's holding a compass bow, who's doing all of the bad stuff.
Can I just quickly ask, do I think I'll be able to lift this table up by myself?
No, it's a gigantic table. They were basically using it as a barricade, a mobile barricade to push you down the...
I'm just checking.
Brew 8 is going to take a shot at Crawdon.
The cheeky monkey.
Son of a bitch. He doesn't have 130% at all. And he misses, as per usual. And then we are at the end of the round. So, Earl, did you have a...
Yeah.
No, you can't have a second arrow because you cast a fire.
Oh, no, yeah.
Right, McLovin.
Can I...
You finish faffing around with your little pots and stuff while everybody's doing the real fighting.
Sorry.
You've seen Andy literally run up in a fury, quacking like mad, leaps up off, stabs this brew straight through the head for 28 points of damage, instantly killing it.
Right. Can I peek around the corner and see down the corridor to see if there's a target? Because at the minute I can't see anything down there. even though what
Yes,
you've said.
You can peep round the corner. Look, we'll move
Right,
it
I'll
forward
put it in the corner, have a
so
look.
you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you see this? Andy's bravely just literally Darkwing ducking it.
My hero.
Stabbing things to death, and Bracey bravely peeks his head round the corner past you, Earl.
Yeah,
Right.
You know.
So the first brew that's dropped the table, I'll take it.
Right, the dead one dropped his end of the table when Andy stabbed him through the head.
The second one standing there looking like shite.
Right, yes, because he was holding the table, but he's dropped it in surprise.
Right. The third
one
is
behind him's got the bow.
I was going to say, Right, can I say that the third one's got a bow? If I can say that,
bow, and he's
right.
got a bow.
If I go for him, am I going to take a penalty for throwing past the first
one? You'll roll unless you're doing an aimed shot. You've got a 50-50 chance of hitting either one if you hit.
Yeah, okay. I'll just take a shot with my throwing dagger. I'm pretty shit at it anyway, so. Joe!
Right, so McLovin finally pokes his head out, throws a dagger, which skitters off down the corridor, does nothing, pulls his head back around the corner.
And then I draw my axe, ready to get into the proper combat.
That was worth waiting for. Right, the one at the back fires his compassed paw at Crawdan this time. And misses. 130% skill and misses. But he only fumbles on a 0-0. So
there goes his string. He's just snapped his banjo string, lads.
As per usual, Earl, you just literally stand there while there's arrows and bullets and crashing cars, explosions, Michael Bay style. You just stand in the middle of it all while the GM completely fails to do any damage. Right. If I had a chance, I would change bloody dice. And next up is Crota.
I'm going to shoot the BBG in the back again.
All right, go on then. If you're doing an aimed shot, like I said, there's a chance of hitting the other brew.
I'll do a cold shot to his face. Wait till the end of the round.
And so it's half chance, yeah. Got you.
Yeah. I want to get him in the nose, though.
Brew 7 is the one at the front who was holding a table, so he's now madly trying to pull weapons out. Because he is now standing in front of a bunch of angry people with nary a table to hide behind. So he pulls weapons out this turn. Kian?
So the table's
rolled to one side and collapsed down the floor next to Andy.
Just making sure. Okay, well, I'll scoot up ahead and smack a brew. You know?
Okay.
The poor one trying to get a weapon out.
Yes.
Aye!
Oh! Right. Is that a slash or a stab, Kian?
It's a slash.
Right, so
I don't ever stab unless I say so.
You slash him across the stomach. He tries madly to dodge with his incredible dodge skill. Fails. You slash his guts open, and both his legs give out, and he collapses to the floor.
Nice.
Because Kane is a goddamn wrecking machine.
He coming like a wreck.
It's fine. Big bad Brew's turn. You'll put us down.
Brew's dead.
I'm going to pierce his nose.
Right, Dave, you finally pull yourself together. You've got snot running down your face. You're like,
Mummy.
Like that. You've weed a little bit and you're killed.
I get up, I pick up my sword, and I march forward singing a song to man.
Right, well, you've lost your true sword because you basically were cowering for 5 rounds. So you've lost the concentration on that.
Okie dokie.
Right, so you step forward. So Dave is obviously trying to act brave now in front of everybody. Everybody looks at Dave because Dave was like, he's got snot running down his face and tears in his eyes, and his beard's all full of thing. And he's like, yeah, let's get them, lads, yeah, for all hands and all that, you know, as he strides forward. Right, go on, Dave. Right, you're a really bad singer, so you stride forward singing incredibly badly. Do you take a stab at which brew? The one in the front or the one in the back? The one in the front's on the floor because you said his gut slashed open by Mr. Humack, Kane dude.
Kane dude.
Although, I mean, we say Kane's the wrecking ball, but actually Andy's the wrecking ball, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm just I'm like that guy from Taken, I think. More like.
Right, Shash, what are you attacking? Have we lost Davey?
I had the wrong button pressed.
Alright, are you taking a swing at him with your broadsword?
Yeah.
Right, okay. He's going to try and dodge, but he's at minus 20%. He's only got 35% to start with, so... Are you hitting the one on the ground or the one behind him?
The one behind.
Right, okay, you take a mighty swing at his head, but the tears clouding your eyes have spoiled your aim and you actually miss. Oh, God. Right, Roalyn, you yank your flaming blade free from the brew's head. And snarl with your beak. What would you like to do?
I want to be...
Whack him upside the head!
Yep, I want to be about there to go for the one with the bow.
Right, okay. So you reach past under Dave and you take a wild stab, and he's only got a 0.1 to 0.5 chance to dodge now. As he's madly dodging and dodging and dodging, he's got 0.15 and he fails. And his red hot blade carves straight through his arm and into his leg. His leg gives out and he collapses on the ground, not dead, but in a real bad way. 13. In a real bad way. And he has got a disabled.
That ought to at least stop him firing arrows at people.
He's got a disabled pink. And he's disabled his leg. He's sliced him all down the inner thigh to his knee. Broo howls in fear and says, howls in pain and fear and says, have I got any kind of healing? It's the one whose eyes glow in the dark. And he says, no, I don't have any kind of healing. Right.
That was me called Shortridge.
Yes, you shoot him in the head.
I had to work out what the percentage was, which was 82 divided by 2, which is 41 plus 15, which is 56. So that's an impale.
That is an impale, so it's 2d8 plus 2, and it's stuck in his head.
Ow.
9 damage.
9 damage. Right. Your arrow digs in deep, but then seems to grate off his
upper nostril,
his incredibly bony skull, and doesn't stick in, which means it hasn't penetrated the armor, and
bloody hell,
and it bounces off.
I'll give me bow shake.
He doesn't look that happy though. Okay, it's the end of the turn. Right, McLovin.
I'll shout lots of armor.
Right. I'll have a peek down the corridor. Is there any way I can get down there to engage with melee, or are we...
No, it's an absolute clusterfuck down that corridor now.
Even if I stand there...
Bodies, blood...
Can I not engage that one there?
Yes, you can stab the one on the floor.
All right, I'll stab the one on the floor.
You get a 20% bonus because he's writhing about on the floor with the cane slashing his guts open.
Did I cast... Which one did I cast? Did I cast Blade Sharp or... I recast...
Look on the time.
Blade Sharp and Protection, I think it was.
Should be in there. You scroll down.
So there's
2 points to the leg.
Right. So you cut them on the leg, almost cutting his leg off. But it's probably no. Actually, he's not dead. He's very tough, this guy, but he's incredibly badly wounded. He's barely hanging on. His leg hangs by a thread.
Okay.
Right, okay, this guy. Haven't seen your bow shot.
Oh, I haven't shot yet. I'm deciding whether to shoot one of the two on the floor.
Right, he disappears off around the corner.
Time to go, boys. Let's get him. I'll shoot the one on the floor in front of at the back.
The one in the back who's
Oh man, back up. 5 to the left leg.
5 to the left leg. He takes a minor scratch because these ones seem to be quite more heavily armoured than the other ones. Broo 7 is still alive. Right, he's going to take one last mad, wild stab at Kane, thinking he has to be able to do something. Anything. Unless he's got a short sword. So that's okay, because he can't use a 200 spear from the ground. He takes one mad final swing at you, Kane, and misses. As per usual. And then it's your turn, so you presumably stamp into strawberry jam.
Yeah, and then if I kill him, I'll move into his space and face off against the next. There's 2 bro up, right? Still?
Yeah, there's 2 lying on the ground, dead.
And 1 ran away. I've got to get him.
God damn it. 1 + 1 + 2.
Right, you
so sad.
Unless you're going to re-roll it for this session, because nobody's used a luck point yet.
Take a look to death.
I'll re-roll it then, sure. It is the brown card.
Yeah, it's a brown card thing.
Yeah.
Just that's the luck rune.
Okay, there you go.
That's mine now.
That's more like it.
Right, okay. So basically, stabbed him in one leg and almost killed him, and you hack at his other leg and you finish him off completely.
This is interesting, Rich.
What?
You know when you click on the homepage for YouTube,
Yeah.
3rd line down, Men Play Runequest, Borderlands.
Right.
It's on the main page.
What?
For what?
Yeah. For YouTube.
Are we? Holy shit.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
what I'm saying. I've just hit the homepage, and on the 3rd line down, the first one is Men Play Runequest, episode 16, Borderlands Part 7.
Right.
That's thing for you, though, right? Yeah,
That's just for me, but that's still pretty good.
Right.
It's good.
Next up, Shash's free shot is worn off. Shash.
Sorry, carry on, Kelly.
If that's any help, I've just checked, and I've got it on the top line on the right-hand side.
Right, Shash, it's up to you. There's a poor, almost defenseless bro lying on the floor, badly injured.
I shall hit him with my broadsword then.
You cut him down like the cur he is.
My map's gone all black. I can just see my token.
It's because you're in a wall, that's why.
So are we all brewed up apart from the one that ran away now?
Yeah, that brew's dead. Are you all pouring into the room?
Oh, yes. Go.
Yep.
Right, you pour into the room.
Oh, shit.
And it fills with acid.
And it fills with acid. And basically, he's standing there with his broadsword drawn and his shield drawn. So who's pouring in first? He bangs his broadsword against his shield. And basically does the Neo come hither motion with his sword. As he stands there between like the rock and the wall there, you can see the thing. So you can't like flank him. So he's in this position here. And who's charging first?
Me.
Right.
If nobody minds, I will.
Sure.
No problem. Right, Andy charges in. He quacks a challenge.
Yeah.
Actually, he is faster than you, Andy. So he takes a swing at you first.
Right.
I just need to find it. Broadsword. He's using broadsword. Right. Takes a swing down at your left leg for a change. For 6 damage. Wow.
I could just take that, you know.
Go on and quack a laugh at him.
Aye. I'll just take it. I won't even try and parry or anything.
Does it cause any damage to you?
None whatsoever.
All right. Okay. So then Andy takes a swing back.
And I'm just going to say it. I shall just smile politely at him.
Oh my good God!
Jesus, Andy!
Right, so he attempts to parry. He gets a special parry. So he does stop 12 of that damage. The other 24, however, ignores armour and it goes through his left leg. And his red hot blade cuts through the shield, cuts through his leg, and his leg goes spinning off. The blade cauterizes the wound, and he falls onto his back. What do you all do?
I'll just lamp him. Absolutely mess him up.
Apart from a stinger, we move into stab him to death.
Oh yeah, move it, stab him into small pieces.
Right, okay. Right, he throws his shield aside, he throws his sword aside, holds his arm out. Like I said, he's got a massive Ripley Arnie-like chest. And he just goes, spits blood and starts laughing as you basically start stabbing into him.
I'll take a step back.
Just as the light goes from his eyes. This is where he fucking fails, isn't it?
Guys, do you want me to try and kill him with a bow?
Right, you're literally hacking at him. He's plunging your swords into his torso. He holds his arms wide. He's not trying to fight yet, and he shouts Maria like that. There's a great blast of black arcane magic, and there's a pop of air as his body is torn away, and where his body was, all the air rushes in and makes a cracking sound.
And
he disappears. He goes poof like that. It was literally the last possible second. Look, as like Kane was just stabbing him, and he's like frenzied, like dropped, and he's threw his shield to one side, grabbed his sword, and both hands he's just gone quack, 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 like a demented, Ivian.
Well, we'll know him the next time we see him, you know.
Yeah. He'll only have one fucking leg.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, does his leg go as well?
Yes, his leg. Yeah.
Well, the next time he turns up, I'll take the other one off.
You suspect that that was a DI. You can, at the very last moment, divine intervention.
God, please get me out of this shit.
God, please help me. But he was literally, he wasn't pleading. He was like holding his arm out and for you to stab him, going basically, come bring it out and take it.
Is there no toes left?
No, the whole of his body is disappeared.
That's a shame. That would have looked good walking like Ali G. with his whole leg on a pendant round your neck.
No, we'll call him Notorious.
Notorious. And so this is the last cave of the brews. In the corner, there is a big pile of loot and food and stuff like that. However, it's been befouled by brewiness.
Did we have some curing type stuff that might cleanse?
You did. You've got some cures, but you're not sure which ones are which.
Right. Could we bag this stuff up and carefully drag it out? I mean, we don't want the food, but is there anything that looks, valuable? Gold and gems and gubbins.
There certainly does look like there's valuable stuff. You've got to be pretty brave to.
I'm brave.
Just put your cotton gloves on and shit.
I'm
You'll be fine.
Gloves on.
CSI Glorantha. Hello.
I'll have to call it in a couple of minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd mention.
You what, mate?
I'll have to call it in a couple of minutes.
Right, okay, well, I'd like to read this out at the end of this. So basically, we'll sort the loot out and the skills. Because I've got an introduction for the next part of the adventure. And it would be good if it came out as part of, like, the finale. So you clean up the brew stuff, you drag it away, you burn all the bodies, etc. We'll do the rolls and everything later. So you go back to the fort. The old woman and the chickens are there.
Killer!
You celebrated again as heroes. You gain some reputation, and you basically said, you're given time to rest. The griffin was summoned, and the Duchess was wrapped up in our red linen burial bandages because the Lunas they intern a body for a full month until the high moon, and then it's traditionally burnt. So basically, Liaro has turned up, and he has flown away the body. He's loaded up with treasure, and he's flown away the body to the Temple of Chalna Oroi at Horngate. And you're all given leave. The Duke says that he can't thank you enough for doing this for his wife, because even if it doesn't work, then it's fantastic.
It's like, we want nothing now, but maybe in the future.
Later.
Yeah, exactly.
You go back to say grandmother, and Alan's like, Nana says she's taught us that stealing's wrong, but finding stuff's all right.
Can we go get checked out for if we've got any horrible diseases or shit like that from eating brew shit and stuff?
The shaman that was outside will have instantly started screaming if we came out with like loads of disease spirits.
All right, well,
right. So here you go.
Just make sure.
I'll give you this. This is the bit I prepared for the next part. Okay, so you're sitting that night. It gets in dark. You're sitting outside your tent around a fire with a big cauldron full of delicious stew. The Duchess lies in state wrapped in her red linen blankets, and she's flown away by the Arrow. After the Duke has personally thanked you, a tear welling up his eyes, as he turns away, it breaks loose and runs down his cheek, and you are treated to the finest stew that supplies have to offer, great steaming chunks of pork and beef. The night seems to draw in all too quickly, and you huddle round the fire, sharing the stew from the cauldron. An old woman with long grey hair shuffles into the circle of the firelight and sits down. "Spare some stew for a hungry old woman, younglings," she says.
Of course we do.
As it is the Orlanthe way, you bid her to sit down and help herself. The old woman appears starving, shoveling down great spoonfuls of stew, and on beginning the second bowl, discarding the spoon entirely and chugging great mouthfuls of stew. She finishes 3 bowls and then smacks her lips together, pats her stomach, and offers to spin a tale in exchange for the food and another great Orlanthe tradition.
That's fine.
We accept.
I'll give her some bread and some wine.
She said, "I'd like to tell you a tale of the gods." She said, "The gods, they all live outside of time in the god plane. They feast the same feasts, they fight the same great fights, and perform the great same acts of lust, and she gives you a sly wink at this. The night has grown so dark at this point that the only thing in the circle of the firelight is the entrance to your tent. She says this cycle, it repeats into infinity. Now in every one of these cycles, the Lady Varna has passed away and descended down into the lunar underworld. Except this one. A small band of mortals has changed the cycle in the most minuscule way. The Lady Varna now lies mostly dead in the Temple of the White Sisters. As it turns out, she says, mostly dead is completely different to all dead. And so, at this point her voice begins to change. This small band of mortals who wish to change the cycle. You look up, and under her straggly grey hair, her face has become a polished bone ivory skull. Stand before me. Well,
I was tempted to put my hand on my sword. However, I don't.
Well then, she says, we best get going. Then she begins to speak in the third person as if reciting a saga. And then the Lightbringers, Orlanth, Humact, Ermel, Iseres, Fleshman, and Chalna Arroy began the long journey to return a lost soul from the underworld. You all stand up, your bodies overlaid with the visage of the Lightbringer gods, and one by one you follow Tai Koratek through the entrance of your tent and into the darkness.
Oh, Richie, I absolutely hate you so much today.
Next session is entitled Hero Quest, Journey to the Underworld.